police nunchucks. This is a real thing. These were nunchucks that were made for law enforcement. They're still used by some law enforcement departments in the United States. Not very many, I think just one or two. But I'm going to show you how you can use your nunchucks. We're going to start with your hand in the middle of the chuck, palm facing the sky, and you're going to spin it forward to make what we call an orbital spin. That's just a spin that goes around the outside of your body here. You can see I'm just making a small circular motion with the hand. You're going to do that for about 30 seconds and then turn your palm over and then bring the chuck to the other side of the body so you don't hit yourself in the elbow, and you're going to spin it this way for about 30 seconds. Then you're going to bring it back for about half of that. Bring it over, do it again, cut that in half. So you're just doing a couple, and then put that motion together. And you have your figure 8 spin using your nunchucks, or your nunchaku, whatever you want to call them. Make sure your other hand always stays up. This is for the guard. It's also to keep you from whacking it with your chuck, keep it from dangling in the dirt. And now you're just doing this basic figure 8 motion. Now you can hold your chuck in 3 places on the stick. You can hold it close to the string or the chain, and that's going to allow you to spin it the fastest. You can hold it in the middle. That's going to allow you later to do some tricks with your chucks. Or you can hold it at the very end, and that's going to allow you to strike for self-defense with the most power and impact with your chucks. When I do the warm-up, I want you to just hold it in the middle on this figure 8 motion. Now, if you do your right hand, you're going to put it to your left. You're going to do both hands the same amount of time, 30 seconds palm up. This is your warm-up. Turn your hand over, 30 seconds, 15. It doesn't have to be exactly 15 or 30. Just do it a little bit, and do it a little bit less, and put those together for your figure 8 motion. Now there's 3 ranges in the strike with the chuck. So there's 3 places to hold it, close to the string, the middle, and at the very end. And there are 3 ranges of strikes. The first one is the shortest, that's with your wrist. You'll see the spins with your wrist. The second is with your forearm, and so you're bending it at the elbow. And the third, try not to hit the ceiling, is with the entire arm. With the entire arm, you have the most leverage. That's going to be your hardest strike. With your wrist, that's going to be your fastest spin. So you just have to understand that when you start to work with your chucks, if you're a beginner. So this is just a beginner nunchuck class. After you've done your warm-up with that left hand, doing your forward figure 8s, you're going to put it back into your first hand, and you're going to reverse everything. So you're going to turn your palm to the sky, you're going to pull it back. So you have a reverse spin. Do this for 30 seconds. Turn it over. Bring it back. Bring it over. Make sure this other hand is up. Shorten that again. And then you start to put it together. Now you have a reverse figure 8. Put in the other hand. Start with the basic orbital spin, pulling reverse. Put the other one. Hey G. Carlton, good to see you. Palm up, using the Orcut Police Nunchuck. Put a link in the video if you need a pair of nunchucks. Won't be these cool police chucks, but you can get a good pair of practice chucks for home. And honestly, these chucks, the police chucks, these are made for grabbing hold of somebody and pulling them, exerting some pressure. They're not really force striking as much as a traditional chuck. And this beefy cord here in the middle doesn't spin as well. So I might actually switch over to one of the other chucks here in a second when we go to the other tricks. Plus it blends in with my black shirt so you can't see as well what we're doing. But I wanted you to see that reverse spin, palm over, reverse spin, bring it back, bring it over, put it together. You've got your reverse figure 8. Now you're gonna go into a strike. And for the strikes, I always want you to hold here at the very end of your chuck. That, again, gives you maximum striking force when it comes to self-defense. Notice that I did not bash my knuckles just now. I want to teach you how to not hurt yourself when you're defending yourself with your chucks. And the first thing that you have to know when it comes to these strikes is you need a full follow-through on your strike. If you stop the strike midway, you are gonna bash your knuckles. So if you don't wanna bash your knuckles, I'm gonna lower the camera, hold on. If you don't wanna bash the knuckles, don't stop in the middle of the swing. There we go. Get the trash cans out of there. There's trash day today, I just brought them in. So you're going down. The second thing you have to know as you're bringing your strike down, if you want to open your hands like this, that'll break or stop the motion, allowing you to do that full strike without having it come up and crack you in the knuckles. So learn the hand brake. The hand brake is just at the end of the strike, your hand opens a little bit. Fingers don't open, but the hand opens. So this is a vertical strike, targeting top of the head into his clavicle. Maybe he's reaching, he's got something in his hand, he's gonna pull it out, try to stick it in you. You're going to remove it, striking that hand. The second strike is going to be a diagonal strike coming across the body. Kind of feels good on my back. But coming across, and again, full range of motion means starting here, but going through that straightening of the arm and allowing it to come back. The other thing you're gonna do is you're gonna allow it to kind of wrap around your hip in the back so that it doesn't hurt. If you stop it short, again, you're hitting yourself. If you go all the way through, wraps around the body, doesn't hurt. So this is a diagonal strike. Think temple, think jaw for self-defense, neck, that hand into the ribs, maybe down into his knees, but you're coming all the way through. Third strike is a horizontal strike. Notice that your palm is facing up as you come across, and then palm facing down as you come back. That feels good too. Same rule, bring it all the way across, let it wrap around the back. You can strike to the head, the body, to the knees, as long as you keep it horizontal. So we have vertical, diagonal, horizontal. Put them together, starting with that diagonal strike, bring it back with a horizontal strike, bring it up to your shoulder, and you have a right triangle. 3 strikes. We call this the Bruce Lee triangle. One, I call it the Bruce Lee triangle. I don't know if anybody else calls it that. I'm gonna move the camera again. I'm running into the wall or the garage door. So come across, bring it back, bring it up. You start to put those motions together. You can do it faster. Again, these more cut police chucks, they don't look as cool. I'm gonna switch. I've got 2 metal ones. I've got metal with a short chain. This is a speed chuck. This is for demos. And I have a self-defense chuck with a metal with a long chain. I'll show you that too. So from here, we have, it looks prettier with the aluminum silver chuck against the black work shirt. Worked all day today. I worked like 12 hours, got home, nobody's in the garage. I thought, let's make a chuck video. We haven't made chuck videos for a while. I've been teaching people chucks for many, many years. Love chucks. All right, so that's the Bruce Lee triangle. Hey Doug, it's good to see you. Put it in the other hand. Practice your vertical strike. Practice your diagonal strike. Practice your horizontal strike. Put them together. Diagonal, horizontal, vertical. And you can see that the way that I'm doing it is more for show. You wouldn't actually defend yourself with those strikes. Yeah, Eric says it explains why he keeps hitting his knuckles, because he's not following through. Again, if you throw it out here, and you could hear, I don't know if you can hear, this hand has more dead nerves in it. That was my bracelet there. You can hear it when it hits, and that it still hurts a little bit. And that's just because you stop your motion. If you go all the way through, you're not gonna hit yourself. If you were to defend yourself, if you had to use this for self-defense, you want all these strikes. There's your Bruce Lee triangle done self-defense style with full power and force. This coming up under his jaw, coming up, smashing that hand that's got the knife, and then coming back down through the temple. And if you do it with full range of motion, you're not gonna hit yourself. Doug asked what kind of metal these are. These are super old. They don't make these anymore. This is that old XMA brand that Century used to carry. Mike Chat. His full name is really long. He went by Mike Chat. shortened last name. And he was a tricker, one of the original trickers in martial arts. Guys that flipped and spun and did all the impractical martial arts stuff. But it looked good in the movies and the TV shows. And this is the ones that he made. And you can see these chains are opening up. It's on its last legs, but I love it. It's my favorite. It's a alloy. They're super lightweight. Bruce Lee triangle, you're doing on your opposite hand. And now I want you to learn how to do this hand transfer as you take this beginner nunchucks lesson, or nunchaku, whatever you want to call it. Maybe you aspire to be like Bruce Lee or Mighty. So Mike Guy, I always get that wrong. Mike Guy. Brent says, do a good job teaching martial arts. Thanks, Brent, I really appreciate that. It's because we're not in person, and I had to learn over the years that if we were in person, I would come up and grab your wrist and then say no like this, right, or whatever, however I would do it. But since we're working with each other through the internet, we have to describe things better. I think that's why I've gotten more confident at teaching, or competent, whichever one that is. So there are two ways to do this. One is going forward, and it's basically that diagonal strike. Doug, thank you so much for that super sticker. So this one is that's with that reverse. So it's a reverse diagonal strike when you pull it back up to the other side. And you're gonna see that when you bring your lower arm perpendicular to the ground, like a tree growing straight up to the sky, that puts the chuck here on the back of your upper arm and directly next to your body. So you take your other hand and reach in front of the body to grab it. Now, I said all that to show you this. If, as you're pulling it, you change the angle of your arm so that now this is not perpendicular but at an angle, that has to go and hit you in the back. That doesn't really matter this way as much, except now you can't reach it and you get frustrated and you might want to quit. Don't ever give up, don't quit. Yeah, G. Carlton says Filipino martial arts uses, I've got the version of the Filipino. Different styles of, Asian styles of martial arts, some have shorter sticks and longer strings, some have really long strings and little sticks. And there's a guy named Shad, maybe in Australia, Shadversity, whatever it was. He's an FMA guy, or not HEMA, Historical English Martial Arts. He was talking about how the nunchucks don't work. And he had these ridiculous long, I think he broke the legs off of some, like an old dining room table and put them together with a string. Never seen chucks like that. I don't know where those come from. Maybe that's historical European martial arts chucks, which they would call a flail. So if it's straight up and down, you can grab it. If it's at an angle, going this way, it's gonna be too far out. It's gonna be harder to grab. If it's facing in, it's gonna be behind your back. You can't grab it. It becomes really important when we go forward on the strike, because if you point that at an angle, it has to hit you in the back of the head. So I don't want you to do that. I want you to really focus on getting this perpendicular to the ground and discipline yourself. Bring it back. Notice that your wrist also turns down. That allows it to drop. You can see it sitting right there. Easy to grab in front of the body. You're bringing it across to the other side. And go slow at first. We say slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Crawl, walk, run. Marine Corps, we said slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Army, we said crawl, walk, run. Yeah, number 5, Philly Fathead. Good to see you. I'm just coming from one side to the other. I'm gonna turn around so you can see it from behind. You'll also see that I'm losing my hair back there. That's all you're doing. That's so simple, basic, and at the same time, it's very frustrating when you're a beginner because of what I said before. You're gonna point it to your back and you can't reach it. A lot of times people will do this as a beginner and they'll try to grab behind their back and they can get it, but then they don't know what to do with it because they went the wrong way. So you bring it up, discipline yourself, bring your other hand to, this becomes important on the next one, to the back, the bottom, back of the hand, back of the palm, bottom of the elbow. Grab it, let it go, whack him, knock the taste out of his mouth for self-defense. Now going forward, we just reverse it. But again, extremely important. This is up and down. Oh, Doug asked, can you use the garrote or like a choke? Can you reach? Yeah, especially, let me show you the other one. This one has the longer chain. This one also has the aircraft grade aluminum, and these, you can hear that? Those will tear skin a little bit. This one would be very effective. Grab them from the back. Hang these here, see if it doesn't break the, there we go, tripod. All right, we'll use those in a minute. So this hand has to become static, can't move it. Because I want you to bring this to the hand. What you're gonna do as a beginner is gotta stop that sound, sorry. You're gonna point your hand at your head. I don't know why you're gonna do that, but everybody I've ever worked with, and that's gonna be in the thousands of people that I've taught chucks to, almost everybody, because I don't know that it's everybody, that might be an exaggeration, but they point their hand at their head. So guess where the chuck's gonna go? It's gonna follow that same line, and I'm gonna do it slowly. I don't wanna hit myself, I don't know why. I'm a little gun shy tonight, because I'm tired. But I pointed at my head, I'm gonna hit my head. It's that simple. So don't point it at your head unless you wanna hit yourself in the head, point it at the sky. And then as you bring this across, put your back of your hand on the elbow, like the last one. Now all you have to do is turn your wrist straight up and then close your hand around it. When it gently comes to the web of your hand between your thumb and your first finger. And then speed it up a little bit. And then when you're comfortable, bring it to the other side. And it's the same exact motion. You're never gonna hit your head if you never point the stick at your head. It's impossible. You have 100% control of this stick. And wherever you point this side, that's where this one has to go. So don't point it at your head. Don't point it at your back, unless that's where you want it to go. Don't point it at your head. Now there are other ways you can practice this motion, coming in reverse, and this motion going to the front. One of them is by putting your hands apart, separating them. Put one hand close to your body, extend the other arm all the way out, and turn it in. Change, so the other one's out, and turn it in. So you start to do this motion. See how I'm bringing this hand through here and throwing it, there we go, almost did it wrong. Throwing it here. And then going forward, let's see, oh, there we go. Just crossing your elbows. It's been a while since I've done these. These are just ways to practice the same motion. Now you don't have to, you could throw that in, like if you're making your own creative form for a competition or something, you might want to throw a couple of those in for whatever reason, but you don't have to. Next thing I want you to see, we did the figure 8. I want you to go back to your orbital, and then I want you to keep it this high, close to your ear height, and then turn your hand down to your upper arm and back. You can see it's all in your wrist. So you're hitting the front and the back of your wrist, and you're not gonna do this for long, you just do it once or twice, and as it comes down, you pinch it, throw your elbow down, pinch it tightly, squeeze it, create tension by pushing your hand down, tension, 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 release, that becomes a strike. Another Bruce Lee move. So Bruce Lee's hitting his arm, he catches it, he high-pitched screams, which I can't do anymore, not since I was like 6, bam, pops him in the eye. So a couple orbitals, upper arm, front and back, squeeze, 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 pop. Go back to your figure 8, throw in an orbital, go to the upper arm, squeeze, oh, missed it, squeeze, 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 pop, reverse hands. So you just took a bunch of basic techniques as a beginner with your nunchucks, and you weave them together, and now you look like Bruce Lee. And someone mentioned recently that you'd have to go 1,000 times faster if you want to look like Bruce Lee. But if I went 1,000 times faster, you might not learn it if you're a beginner, which is why in these videos, I don't go 1,000 times faster. Now, I know that goes without saying for all you guys who are here now, but that's just for the kid who's still living at home, the mommy and daddy are paying the bills, and he saw a Bruce Lee movie, or he read a forum, and everybody's wrong except for him. That's just to say, grow up, young man. You don't know anything. You're too young. Anyway, you will later. As you grow, keep your mind open. That's what I'm trying to say. Keep an open mind. You'll learn. You'll grow. Throw it in the other hand. Outer orbital, front, back, and the upper arm. Squeeze tightly. Pop them in the eye. Switch hands. You're Bruce Lee. The next Bruce Lee move. That might be it. Bruce Lee didn't do a lot of moves, but he did a lot of moves. He did like a few basic moves really, really well. He did a lot of strikes, pop and put the guy over here, pop that guy there, crack that guy in the jaw for self-defense or for the movies. Then he's on the ground one time and he's whacking this guy's foot, that guy's foot, that guy's foot, and he's rolling around. But other than that, there's not a lot of Bruce Lee moves. So let me show you some other moves that you might want to learn as a beginner. You're gonna hold your hand here in the middle and you're gonna spin it up so that it sits on the back of your hand. Then you're gonna open your hand, turning it out away from you so you can grab the other stick and then wrap it back down. Now that's a wrist roll. We're gonna go over the back of the wrist, open the hand, pop it over to catch it. You can put the hand there to give yourself some assistance. Maximiliano Rodriguez is here from Paraguay. Welcome. Thank you for being here. You speed that up a little bit, and then you've got a wrist roll. So slow it down one more time. Starting here, super simple. Turn it up. The key is the long side is going to come out your pinky side, just in case you get stuck there. Open the hand. Allow your hand to turn to grab the other stick. Turn it over. Same thing in reverse. Wrap it up. Long side coming out of the thumb. Palm open. Turn it. And then you can start to slowly speed that up. And you can do it in front of the body. You can also do it to the side of the body. You can even do it overhead. If I do it overhead right now, I'm going to drop it. So I'm not going to do that. I just don't feel like picking it up. But if you drop yours, pick it up. If I drop mine, I'll pick it up too. But that's the only way to get better. Eventually you're going to drop it because you're trying new things and you're going faster. And that's what we want. I want you to learn, once you get your ego out of the way and speed it up when you're ready. Now, once you get this wrist roll down, go back to your figure eight and then do a wrist roll on the outside of your body. So this is your right hand. When you're coming to the left side of your body, you're gonna wrist roll. And now it's in what's called a negative grip, also known as a hammer grip. This is known as ice pick. Those of you young kids, they used to make it, they still make them. It's a pick that you break ice apart and they stab people with. This is how you use a hammer. So we call this the hammer grip, and this is the ice pick grip. So you start with basically the ice pick grip, and you're doing your figure eight, and you're ready, throw on that wrist roll. Now you have a reverse grip. Now you can still do the same spin, and these spins are strikes. Think of Ahsoka Tano in the Star Wars movies, or cartoon, or whatever she's in. She holds her sword backward, right? That's a way, it's one style. You're doing the same thing, and you can strike in the same way. When you're ready, on the same side of your body, you're gonna wrist roll so that you're back into your original grip. So you have figure eight, wrist roll, negative grip, figure eight, wrist roll, positive grip. So all you have to remember is that when you're in the positive grip, the spin of the wrist roll happens on the opposite side of your arm. This is your right arm, goes to the left, and then in the negative grip, you spin back on the same side of your arm, which is the right, so the right side. Once you get, what I like to do, this is how I would suggest you practice. You do this 20 times. because you can never do these enough. These are like roundhouse kicks in martial arts and jabs in boxing. You do this, you get really good at basics, right? So we do figure eight. Doug asked if Nunchuck ever came out with polychucks. I don't think so, but Kevin Orcutt, who's a police officer somewhere out west, did come up with these. John wants to know if I'd ever train a nun to do nunchucks. Now, she's a Japanese nun. She might already know how. But if she didn't, then the answer is yes. I'd train anybody to do nunchucks. I think they're fun and they're good exercise. So this is the police nunchuck, and this is made out of that same kind of material that Nunchuck makes all their other stuff out of, that poly. You can hear it. And the way these were used were for compliance, mostly. Pain compliance. I was talking to some of my federal law enforcement friends this week, and we were talking about pain compliance and all the different ways as a law enforcement person you can use pain compliance to make somebody do what they don't want to do, but what they have to do before they get in big trouble. All right, so if you do 10 of these, 10, 1, 2, 3, I always count out the inside, 4, 5, 10, and then I do a spin, 1, 2, and I do 10, 10, and then I do 9, and then 9, of course I'm counting 9, and then 8, 8, until you get all the way down to singles. And if you do it that way, I believe, from my experience, you'll get better, much faster at wrist rolls with your chucks. Of course, you do it with your right hand for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, do it with your left hand and do the same thing. That's where I want you to spend your practice. So orbital, orbital, put them together, figure eight, vertical strike, diagonal strike, horizontal strike, Bruce Lee triangle, outer orbital head level, upper arm, catch, pop them in the eye, changing hands, backward and forward. The other thing you can do if you want to make these look cooler, you can do like a spin and then throw it in the middle of those, right? And then figure eights with wrist rolls. And then work your skills together. Do some figure eights, do some wrist rolls, do some vertical strikes, some Bruce Lee triangles, some outer orbital, some upper arm, some catch, some pop, some hand switching. And if you want to be like Bruce Lee, get really close to the camera and go really fast. I'm trying not to break my phone. But whatever, make it fun. Enjoy yourself, but keep training. That's the key. If you keep training, drop it, pick it up, drop it, pick it up. Yeah, G. Carlton said used to pass the nunchucks behind the back. You can go around the head. The key is back of the hand, opposite side of the face. Very important. Don't put it on the same side, you don't whack yourself. Opposite side, and then bring it up, neck level. So you're doing your figure eight, and then boom, opposite side goes right into your hand. As long as your hand is here, go wrap in there, and then figure out, see what other tricks you can do, or in the comment section, please, because this helps me a lot with this channel. Put in the comment section what your favorite tricks are with the nunchucks. Or if you don't like the nunchucks, say, I don't like your nunchucks, man. Don't be telling me about the nunchucks. Put that in the comment too. Or whatever. How's the weather near you? Put that in the comments. And all that will help the algorithm and more people will see the video. Or don't. You don't have to. I'm just asking. Doug, thanks again for that super chat, super sticker. You guys have been awesome. The family's out of town and I have the garage open. So I'm gonna make a bunch of videos in the next 2 or 3 days just because I don't like to just sit around watching TV. So you and I are gonna train together and we're gonna work on, I got a whole stack of weapons over there. Traditional weapons and then improvised weapons for self-defense. So I'll see you in the morning. Thank you very much. Thanks, Philly. Good to see you. Thanks, Doug.